So 176 for 8 is what the West Indies managed, and considering where they were at one point in time, it took an absolute record of a partnership to actually get them to what should be, I would dare say, an above par total, considering what we've seen from the pitch and how it's playing. But my good God, this really was. It reminded me a bit of yesterday's game, whereby New Zealand at one point looked down and out. Then you had that partnership with Mitch Santner and Cole McConchie that absolutely turned the game around. And West Indies, I dare say, done pretty much the same. They were 90 odd for 7 at one point in time.
Yep.
From there to be at 176 for 8, phenomenal.
But it is nothing new for the West Indies, because if you look at the game that they played against England in Mumbai, similar, they were about 77 for 4 or something. It took Jason Holder and Rovman Powell to rescue them and get them to over 190. Here, even direr situation, 90 for 7. World record 8th wicket stand in T20 is ever between, you look at it, Jason Holder and Romario Shepherd. And although South Africa pulled things back with just 13 runs in the last 2 overs, but that 123 run over that Marco Jansen bowled, I mean, he was India's ultimate tormentor, but today he just ended up on the wrong side of it. He himself got to a 50. And that is why 176 for 8. Looking at the day games that are there in Ahmedabad, this is a par score when you look at it, because South Africa, Afghanistan, it was a day game, 11 o'clock start. It got better and it was a double super over.
Yeah, you had about 180. 180 something it was, I remember. Something around that.
So
that was scored in the regulation overs. But from where the West Indies were, I must say, I can't really think of many teams who can, after losing 5-6 wickets for 60, 70 odd runs, get to the kind of total that the West Indies have managed to get to. And you spoke of how Marco Jansen was the record in chief against India. Today, the South African team sort of reminded me of what Sri Lanka's arc in this tournament has been like. They sort of, gave it their all to beat to beat the Australian side the other day, and after that it was all downhill for them. With Sri Lanka, with the South Africa, it feels much the same. It's as if all the plotting had to be done against India, and there was nothing really left in the tank after a point. Yes, they made a very good start, but it was lax. Dare I say, it was lax from the South African side. There was a beautiful slower one being bowled, and there was a catch being dropped. There was a catch being dropped at the top as well. But chalo, you'll forget about that, because you didn't allow them to get going in the power play after that dropped catch as well. It was Corbin Bosch, I remember, at that time, who dropped the catch in the power play.
It just tipped over
in the power play. So it got, in fact, it did get
of Rabada
to it. Exactly. But yeah, South Africa really, made a match out of it. This should have been a cakewalk. They made a match out of it.
Look, why this match is so important for Indian cricket fans. There have been memes galore today. I mean, I remember one very memorable.
Jersey, Siddharth?
What jersey? I don't wear jerseys.
He's wearing Zimbabwe's colors today, FYI.
No, the chevron Zimbabwe color is a lot more brighter. It's that, you may say, the other red that I wear. Remember?
Oh, it's technicalities.
Yeah. I mean, I've been targeted for the last 2 days for colorisms here. One for yellow and now over red.
You cannot play this down anymore.
I can.
You do it very intentionally.
No. Nothing of that kind. See.
You're wearing green on India-Pakistan Day.
Yeah, he'll wear green on India-Pakistan Day, South Africa Day.
Did I wear green? Yellow. I thought I wore blue.
When you were green once playing also against Australia, he will wear yellow.
Okay.
Today, he's chosen red of all days.
It is a personal choice. Because it's a red letter day. Because look, why
for
this?
For whom do you want it to be a red letter day? Siddharth, excuse me.
May the best team win.
So then, what?
Okay, I'm going to explain why is it so important. I mean, look at one meme. There was one scene from Nayak in which there's a whole host of fans. They are the Indian cricket team. Paresh Rawal is tagging Aiden Markram. ये लोग उम्मीद करके आए ये अच्छा बंदा है. ये हमें अच्छा दिखाएगा something. Look, if West Indies win today, scenario number 1. Then India's progress to the semi-final becomes a whole lot difficult, and you're hoping for prayers from Zimbabwe. Because South Africa, Zimbabwe, remember?
Then you're hoping that Zimbabwe beats South Africa.
Here in Delhi, okay? Scenario number 2, and that is what India is praying for. If South Africa chase this down, 177, March 1, India, West Indies. If India beats Zimbabwe, straight shootout for the second spot. That is how we are looking at it at this point in time. So there is going to be a lot riding on this particular game, but it is not going to be an easy chase because I think West Indies have picked the right people to counter them in these conditions. I mean, they haven't gotten a spin-heavy attack. They only have Roston Chase. They have a Gudakesh Moti. Akil Hossain was left out primarily, so that is why they have gotten a pace-heavy attack. I mean, Romario Shepherd is dibbly-dobbly when you look at it. You've got a Matthew Ford who's medium. Jason Holder is medium.
Shofane can give you overs.
Can go bowl. Chase will be your off-spinner.
Rovman may give you an over or two.
May give you an over or two. And then if you look at who is you've got Shamar. Shamar Joseph is the only outlaw.
Shamar's been very fast, by the way.
Yes. Yeah, but he's also been very expensive.
Yeah.
So that is why this is going to be a very close contest between South Africa, unless they do what they did against New Zealand. Chase this total down, and correct me if I'm wrong, that South Africa-New Zealand game, I think it was 176 if I'm not mistaken, that they chased it down in about 17 overs.
Could be.
South Africa versus New Zealand, but that was a night game at Ahmedabad.
I don't remember.
I think it was the same hereabouts total that was there. So, plenty riding for India on this game. If West Indies win, it becomes very difficult for India then to progress.
Okay. Yeah, but if South Africa win, then
it's a straight shootout.
Yeah, then net run rate doesn't even come into the picture.
Yes.
Then you can beat Zimbabwe by any margin, and you can beat West Indies by any margin because it'll come down to points.
It'll come down to points, and just to
how many? South Africa versus New Zealand 17.1. How many? How much was the target? 175. Close, yeah. So, but that was a night game. So, that was the only issue that we're looking at. But, gents, I mean, if I have to sum up the West Indies innings, the first part looked as if they had only 2 gears. 7th and out.
Yeah.
That was the way how they're playing. They hit a 6, they hit a 4. No, we'll continue attacking, and then they fell victim to it.
See, it's best exemplified by the openers, right? See, Brandon King got a good start, was dismissed for a strike rate of 190. Shea Hope went 16 of 6. You're thinking, okay, made a good start. Carry on from there. Nope, he got out. Then the middle order really floundered. See, Hetmeyer, Powell, Chase, literally no one could impact the scorers in any way. Shofane tried, but again, was a bit of a scratchy innings, just the 1-6. It really needed Holder and Shepherd to actually go out there and give them a respectable total to bowl at. Not respectable, I'm being polite here. This is competitive. This is an above par total as far as West Indies are concerned, especially when you consider that at one point in time it looked like they would have been struggling to get to even 120, 130.
In fact, just to give things more perspective, you speak of how instrumental that partnership was. Full member nations we're talking about here, 8th wicket or lower. This is the highest partnership, 89.
Yeah, it is a world record between test playing nations. When you look at full member nations, this is the.
There has been one other instance of there being a greater partnership, but that was.
Have been UAE versus Canada, if I'm not mistaken.
No, Belgium versus Austria, I think.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
All these nations give you all the world records in T20 cricket.
Full member nation, 89 runs.
Yeah.
8th wicket or lower. Wow, that takes some doing to get there.
But it shows that the West Indies batting depth is something that many teams have not taken into consideration. When you look at it, you effectively bat until number 9. I think they have the biggest and the deepest batting depth in this whole competition when you look at it.
I mean, Romario Shepherd, the half centurion, came into bat at 9.
Yeah.
It's a double-edged sword, I'll tell you guys, because we speak of, how somebody like a Hardik Pandya can be hit or miss at times. Fast bowling all-rounders, plenty of them you will find in this West Indies lineup as well. Now, with the bat, you will find days like today where you have a 70 for 7 situation, you finished with 176 because you've got all these fast bowling all-rounders. But there'll also be days you'll bundle out for 120 and the fast bowling or your all-rounders will lack the teeth that you will then need to pull off a win from a 120 situation.
I agree.
That time you need specialized specialists.
That I agree, because if you're looking at the all-rounders, they have the pace bowling. See, Shofane, Rutherford and Romario Shepherd are medium bases at best. Same can be said of Rovman. The only bowler there who I trust to be a proper bowler would be Jason Holder. And who, by the way, Shamar is not I'm talking about the all-rounder.
Even Matthew Ford.
And Ford. My point is though that Holder is the one there with the most experience. And we know that in the death, Holder can be a bit of miss.
Yeah.
He can get hit. So he's the only proper bowler. They've really taken the part-timers thing to another degree because they're batting till 9.
And remember, Romario Shepherd got a hat-trick in the T20 World Cup.
Exactly.
Against Scotland in Kolkata. So that is why it's not going to be easy on this pitch, because if you look at it, the cutters and the slower deliveries worked effectively for South Africa. I mean, if South Africa have to thank one individual who's pulled things back from this, at one point they were targeting 190. But the last 2 overs bowled by Corbin Bosch and Lungi Ngidi, I mean, Delhi Capitals guys seem to be having a different aura in this T20 World Cup here.
It's unbelievable. I was just hoping if you could just have these guys wear the DC jersey at the point and remove the South African jersey. They've been just so good in Ngidi yet again.
11 wickets.
So impressive if it wasn't just for this last over where he was just unlucky to concede those couple of boundaries which
One
came
boundary,
The one boundary, sorry, that came out. 3 dot deliveries at that.
Just 5 runs in the
outfoxing Romario Shepherd over there. It was too good.
Lungisani, Truman Ngidi is really setting the stage on fire. He just needs...
What are match predictions now, guys? Because now it's close.
Oh, it's very close here. Good luck in trying to figure out who's going to be the winner of this game. And this is Ford, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Matthew Ford.
Starting with a boundary.
Starting with an absolute loosener.
Look, I think because South Africa have had too much of experience in Ahmedabad looking at playing in different conditions, I think it is advantage South Africa.
I'm also siding with them for the simple reason, whilst 177 is a good total, really they're just one partnership away and they have a quality batting lineup. So I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I don't think it'll be easy. It'll go not necessarily down to the wire, but it'll be like at least an 18-19 over game for sure. But I do think South Africa will win.
I hope for India's interest.
Don't we all?
Yeah, I hope for India's interest that South Africa win. I did though say yesterday or day before, was it when we did predictions? Day before.
That you think West Indies
that I think West Indies could be winning. I really think the real twists and turns of this match will come when Gudukesh Moti and the others
Roston Chase. Because there's no Akil Hussain.
There's no Akil Hussain today. So when these guys come into the picture, I think that is when things could get interesting.
Yeah. No point in having 2 left-handers in the same side, considering that there are a couple of left-handers in the South African lineup also. You got a Miller, you got a de Kock, you got a Rickleton. So that's why one left-arm spinner is okay. And I think they went in with a Gudukesh Moti, who also, by the way, has been pretty impressive in this T20 World Cup. Let's not forget about it. Roston Chase, off-spinner, will be the key in this. And remember, the only loss that South Africa have had in the T20 World Cups against West Indies has happened in India. 2016, Nagpur, where South Africa couldn't, I think, defend 124. But that was a very slow wicket and it was a rank turner in Ahmedabad. So that's why. In Nagpur, sorry.
I also read something that the West Indies, there's one venue in India where they've never lost a World Cup.
Wankhede.
No.
Kolkata.
And Kolkata.
2 venues. They've never lost at Wankhede, they've never lost in Kolkata. That's the thing. So they're going to play either if they make it to the semi-final in either of those 2 venues, if they make it though.
That's right.
So again, scenario simple before we sign off. If West Indies win, India's path becomes a lot harder. They have to hope Zimbabwe then beat South Africa. Scenario number 1. Scenario number 2, if South Africa win, NRR out of the equation, straight shootout between India and West Indies in Kolkata. So that is the other bit. There can be a scenario where 3 teams can end up on 2 points and still the NRR will come into the equation. Why? If Zimbabwe beat India, India beats West Indies, South Africa beats Zimbabwe, 3 teams tied on 2, then NRR goes into the equation. So let's see permutations and combinations. By 6:30 we will know whether India's prayers have been answered, that it's going to be a shootout, or is it going to be an Everestian climb for the semi-finals. So from me,
we'll know soon enough if it's Waka Waka or no Waka Waka.
No Waka Waka indeed. So yeah, for me, Shane and Harshit, it's bye-bye. See you for the post-match.